Hi, everybody. Welcome to Hookin Stitchin Style. I'm Antoinette, your hostess, coming to you from Deer Island, New Brunswick, Canada, located in the Bay of Fundy, Canada, on the East Coast. I want to welcome all returning Fiber Family members, new Fiber Family members, Island Yarnies, and the Yagas. If you're new here, this is your first time seeing the channel, um, this video is going to be for you because it's a new introduction video. I've been on YouTube 5.5 years, so I thought it was time to kind of update and just let you know a little bit about me, my fiber arts journey, where I came from, you know, kids, grandkids, where I've lived, what I've done for work, and all that good stuff. So that's what this is pretty much going to be, just a little introduction to who I am and why I started a YouTube channel and what we do here. So, first off, I am originally from Pennsylvania, down in the United States, southwestern PA to be exact, in a little place called Westmoreland County, Harrison City, very small town I grew up in on farm country. Um, I graduated high school in 1979, went on to nurses training, graduated from my RN in 82. But I left after a few years because I had a little boy die in my arms. He was 5 years old, and I just couldn't. I was tired of death. I just couldn't do it anymore. So somebody told me I couldn't drive a tractor trailer, semi, big truck, whatever you want to call it. So my personality is I'll kill myself trying to prove somebody wrong when they tell me I can't do something. I didn't know I'd go on to do it for 30 years. In fact, my late husband and I, the last 5 years I drove, we had 4 trucks. We worked the gas wells in Pennsylvania, West Virginia, North Dakota, Ohio, Kentucky, down that way. We worked gas wells. And I logged over 3 million safe miles. Uh, I feel I was successful at what I did. Moved to Deer Island 10 years ago. We bought a little mom and pop store on the island, but it was past its time. So I closed it in the end of 2018 and did home care, home support as a PSW, sorry, PSW. I do hold college degrees. While I was trucking, I went back to university. I was driving, obtained my business degree, associates in business, AABA, with a minor in accounting. I went back again in my late 40s and obtained my radiation control tech certification, which basically what you do is, excuse me, you monitor the radiation levels during an outage in the nuclear plants. And then in 2020, I went back to school again, finish up my accounting. Um, and during that time, I also um, obtained my SVMO, small vessel machine operator certification, to work as an engineer on the ferry. I do work as a deckhand, but I am also a relief engineer, responsible for maintenance on the boat. Basically, is what what it is. Um, I'll be 64 years old in April. I'm the mother of 2 sons, 5 grandkids, 1 great grandchild. My oldest son is Anthony. He turned 44 in October. He's married to Crystal, and I have 2 grown grandsons, 2 granddaughters, and my youngest grandson, who is the child of my late son, Donnie, passed away 10 years ago. Um, Shane graduates high school this year. Yes, I'm feeling my age. And a great grandson named Jackson. He's my son says he's a handful. Um, I come from a big family of 7 kids. I'm the number one pecking order. I'm the oldest. 6 girls, 1 boy. I grew up in an Italian household, half Italian. Um, I love to cook. I love to do things the old way, take care of my family. I mean, I had a career. I always have. I've always worked since I was 12 years old. I've been working. Um, so, it's pretty much what I did. As far as my crochet journey goes, my knitting journey, and all the other fiber arts I've gotten into, I'm pretty much self taught. The only exposure I had to fiber arts was when I was probably 10 years old. Grandma showed me how to crochet those thread doilies. And that was about it. So pretty much I'm self-taught. I taught myself to knit when I was in nurses training. Now, I learned from a book. This was pre-YouTube days, pre-computer days. Um, I could cast on, knit, and purl. That was it. In fact, the cast on I did was a backwards cast on, which I didn't realize was used for when you're doing like sleeves and stuff like that, and or buttonholes. So a friend of mine, Kathy, um, showed me how to do a long tail cast on. That was in 2018. That is when I got back into knitting and crocheting, and I have been full steam ahead since then. I built up a yarn stash, a substantial yarn stash, as most of you who've been coming here know. All kinds of fibers, all kinds of weights, all kinds of yarn. I I love yarn and I like a good deal. I don't pay full price for my yarn. And I used to have a lot more yarn hauls when good deals are going on. There's not as many good deals around as there used to be, but I have enough yarn to last me well into my probably and beyond my lifespan. So, and I do like to share. Um, what else? Um, One of the things I got into right away when I got back into crocheting and knitting was started testing for designers. That is how I come across some of my favorite designers. One of them, who is my favorite knitwear designer, Lindsay Luchuk from Knit Eco Chic. And the very first pattern I tested for her was Airbender, which is, by the way, my favorite pattern by her, which is in my queue to redo again. All right, I'll be back. Okay, sorry, I'm back. I don't remember what I was talking about. Oh, about knitting and crocheting journey. So 2018, I got back into it, did some testing for designers, and just started improving my skills, learning everything I could about yarn and tools of my craft. Um, I slowly built up my yarn stash, my tools. I kept upgrading until currently now I have a set of Chiaogu 4-inch uh, red cabled interchangeable set. My very first set I bought was from Michaels. It was a 60% off coupon, by the way. A set of Clover Takumi bamboo knitting needles, interchangeable set. But I use straights once in a while as just kind of nostalgia, like I do a dishcloth or something. Um, I got into making socks, which I discovered I liked. I was intimidated by DPNs. I took the challenge head on, and I use DPNs, and I like using DPNs. One of the new challenges I'm trying to do is magic loop 2 at a time socks. Something I'm going to be working on this year. Another thing I'm working on in my knitting is doing brioche. Lindsay put a new pattern out that is just strictly brioche knit, no pearls. So I'll discuss more about that in the next video, which is going to be whips and finished objects and a challenge for 2025. Crochet, my favorite hooks are Clover Amours, but I do have other hooks. I have some Prims, which I do like. I have a couple Omi hooks. I have some generic hooks. I mean, I've got a variety of hooks, as you can see. But my favorite are my Clover Amours. And I even bought a set of the steel hooks from Amazon that I do for my bead work and also for the thread work. Um, I have 2 sets of Tunisian hooks. My first set was a Denise interchangeable. Yes, it's plastic, but I'll tell you, it's a great set. I really I enjoy using them too. Then I purchased one from AliExpress, which a lot of people were talking about, and that was the shiny nickel plated, very slick, very sharp Tunisian hooks, and I do like that also. Um, I have an extensive library of patterns. I just started using Knit Companion on a tablet, my tablet, which is that's all a tablet's used for is for patterns. Um, I did a few amigurumis. I got into some amigurumi. I did a couple krakens. I made a falcor, which I'm going to be making another falcor because falcor has a new home in Scotland with Wendy McJanet. She's a island yarny, but yeah. Um, so basically, my reason for starting the YouTube channel was to share my love of fiber arts and life on an island. And this video here is just to give you a little bit of background on me. You know, you want to get to know me better, then subscribe. Don't cost you anything. Hit the bell, hit the all, and you get notified when I upload a video, have a live or post on the community tab. I do have a Facebook group that is associated with the channel, and that is the Yaya Island. They're called the Yarny Yayas. I do have a membership, but it's through Ko-fi, Coffee, however you want to do it. All that's in the description box below, all the links and everything for that. Um, and I'm open to any questions somebody has, whether it's about my crocheting and knitting, or life on an island, working on a ferry, or a personal question. And I'm not saying I'll be able to answer all questions because there are some areas that are, you know, off limits, but I'm pretty open, pretty transparent. And that's one of the big things I pride myself on. What you see is what you get here. This is it. And there's nothing fancy. I don't have big fancy intros or anything like that. I mess around with, thumbnails and stuff, but and my editing is just putting clips together. And sometimes I edit out boo-boos. But I don't do a whole lot of editing on my videos. We've had some cows in the past. I have the tail end of a crochet along we started last November of 2023. And it was a broomstick cow, and I've got to finish, and that'll be my next. I got to finish mine up so we can put it together. But we've done a few crochet alongs here. There's some new things that I'm going to be implementing this year. I talked about it on a previous video that I did. I think one of the ones I said I'm back. I just got back from Australia. I was in Australia for a month. There's going to be a monthly gift away on the Yayas and here on Hookin Stitchin Island Style. Now, it could be yarn, it could be a digital gift, I don't know, but I'm going to be doing that towards the end of every month. I'll be drawing random picks, and that's something new. I'm going to try to do a members only live once a month. And every 3 months, there'll be a members only gift away. I don't call them giveaways. I call them giftways because to me, it's my gift to you for you giving me the gift of coming to watch and listen to me and let me share with you my love of fiber arts and the island I live on. And you will get this back and forth because Obi, I have 2 webcams. One is an OpSpot tiny cam, and the other one is an Elgato face cam. And Obi right now is the one that I'm using, and Obi can follow me. It's a tilt, pan, and zoom. I mean, I'll show you what he does, okay? Through hand signals, I can do this, and Obi zooms in. God, that's just awful. I do this again, and Obi zooms out. As far as equipment goes, this past year, I've upgraded a lot of my equipment. I upgraded my computer from a laptop to a desktop to a tower, and I have an Alien Aurora R16. And Dell apparently told me when I called I was having some issues. Told me that that's the Cadillac. He says that is a heck of a computer. I upgraded my mic a couple years ago to my Yeti X. I actually got a ring light that I don't have quite hooked up right yet. And to my right here is where I do my tutorials. I'm going to be revamping my craft room again, and anybody that's been coming here for a while knows, like, are you ever going to have that craft room the way you want it? Probably not, but it just needs all changed around. I upgraded the equipment that I use for my tutorials. I actually purchased a camcorder after a lot of research, and they're made for videos. So that's what I use for my tutorials. Also, I upgraded my Nikon Coolpix. I don't use that as much for videos like I used to use my old Coolpix. I use my camcorder. I do tutorials, and I need to get back because those are my most popular videos. My number one video with over 16,000 views, and that may not sound like a lot to some of these other channels, but that's a lot for me for one video to have. Was a very simple yarn over, knit two together, very short tutorial I did for somebody, and it's my most watched video. I still get comments on it. They said they liked the way I explained it. My tutorials are very basic, very basic. I have some stitch tutorials. I have a bunch of tutorials that are linked to a crochet along that we had for the Leisure Arts 63 block Afghan. A lot of times I'm working on a pattern. I will show some of the stitches or techniques in that. I won't show you the actual pattern because they're paid for. A lot of my patterns are paid for. I do have free patterns also. Um, I have designed one pattern, Proud as a Peacock. It was a shawl slash scarf. And I did that in June of 2019. You can get it for free on Ravelry or Lovecrafts. Um, so, and it's a pretty easy pattern, but it was my first pattern I designed. I have a few other designs that are in my book. I did one at Pocket Shaw that's called Island Hugs 2.0. The reason it's called 2.0 is for several years I lost my notes. I tried to recreate it, and I couldn't. So maybe I'll get back in and I'll finish some designing, but I just don't have it. I just haven't been in the headspace to do it. Um, what else? That's pretty much, a little bit about me, my journey. Somebody asked me, do I prefer knitting, crochet? Which one? I love them all. Um, I usually have at least one of each, plus socks, plus a blanket going because I like to switch between the different crafts because it uses different muscles. I have arthritis, and so it uses different muscles, different motions, so it gives my hands a rest, but I can still craft. I pretty much knit and crochet every day. My late husband, if I didn't knit or crochet for the day, he'd say to me, "What's the matter?" I say nothing. He says, "Well, you're not knitting or crocheting," and I did. I have crocheted 99% every day since 2018. I have been knitting and crocheting every day, even if it's only for a half hour, an hour. I do have startitis. I'm bad for that. I am bad for having a lot of whips going, lots of whips. But eventually, I'll get them done. That's another video. That's going to be filmed later on. Excuse me. So, that's me. What you see is what you get. Nothing fancy. Lots of yarn. Lots of squish. Lots of fun. So if you think this might be something that interests you, go back and check out some of my old videos. Now, my first few videos, I cut my head off and I was totally crappy equipment, but I was having fun. So I always say, I hope wherever you're at, you're staying safe, you're healthy, you're happy, doing what it is that makes you happy. And remember, hug, smiles, and happiness. Pass it on. Make the world a better place each and every day. Be the light in somebody's dark day. This is me. This is my channel. If it's something you like, check it out. Subscribe. Join the family. Here's bye for now from Deer Island, and I'll see you in the next video. I love you all, and if it's your first time here and you join the family, welcome. Enjoy. Have a great day.